Stay classy, Golden Eagles. So this is going to be this is going to be part 2 of lesson number 2. Previously, we had focused on finding the measure of an angle from all the way around. And we did that by adding up the different parts in there. So our learning target previously was join angles to determine an angle's measure. And that's the same with this. The only difference is we're adding in one more angle. So 2 or more angles. Previously, we had 2, and now we're going to add in one more. There is no different process. You just have one more step. So all we're going to do is we're going to take what we know, which is the measure from this point to our vertex or vertex, and then back out here. This is 14. This part is 14 degrees. And this part here is 38. And this one here from this point to the vertex and out is 7. Oh, I forgot to point this one. So 38 here represent this part to our center out to there. Now, what we are trying to do is solve for the angle of x, which is the measure from here to the vertex and out to here. And that is everything that is inside. So all we have to do is add all 3 of the knowns and we will get the measure for angle of x. So I usually like to start with the big numbers first. So 38 plus 7, and that's going to give us 45. And I chose 7 first because I'm really good, or I feel really positive about adding 7 and 8, and I know that's 15. So I put the 5, I carry the 1, I get the 45. And now I just add my other known, which is 14. 4 plus 5 is 9. 1 plus 4 is 5. So we end up with the answer of 59 degrees. Okay. Now, guys, just so you know, a little clarification on this. I drew these freehand without a protractor because I do not have a protractor at my house, very similar to you guys. So if you used a protractor, this angle might measure larger than 59 degrees, but for our learning purposes, it doesn't necessarily matter. What's important is to understand that you can find the measure of the whole angle by adding up the measure of the inside angles, okay? Now, this problem is very similar to the first 3 problems on page 13 that you guys are going to be working on. I'm asking you to do a whole 12 problems today, so it's not a lot. And this is more representative of what you guys will see with the final 3 problems that you'll work on. And it's similar to what we did in the previous video in the second half. This time, it's just labeled something different. I know people always say I don't talk about Eastern Washington, and this is for Mrs. Albright. So we're going to talk about we're going to find the measure of EWU. E is to here, W is our vertex, and U is out here. So we're going to find the measure of the dotted line all the way out. But we have 2 different angles within that. We have EWC, we have CWF, actually we have 3, my mistake, and we have FWU, okay? So what we're going to do is no different than the problem that we just did up here, okay? It's just written slightly different. It's another way of reading it. We're going to add up the insides of all 3 so we can find the total of the larger of the amounts. So we're going to find out for EWU, which goes from here to our vertex all the way out to this point, okay? And same thing before, we're just going to add them up. So I'm going to go ahead and add up 61 plus 42. I'm going to break this up into parts, makes it easier to follow. So I'm adding up CWF. And I'm adding that with FWU. 2 and 1 is 3. 4 plus 6 is 10. So I have 103. But I am not done yet because I still have not added the third part, which is, you guys are right, EWC, which is worth 24 degrees. So quick math, 4 plus 3 is 7. 2 plus nothing is 2. Bring down the 1 and join the friends. And we end up with the answer of 127 degrees. All right, guys? So that's just a quick explanation of what we're going to do. Remember, our learning target is to join angles I will be able to join angles to determine an angle's measure. And all we're doing, guys, is adding up the inside parts to understand what the bigger sum would be. As always, stay classy, Golden Eagles. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below or email your teacher.